Hello everybody, this is the KIIP Level 4 Grammar Exam Review. So what is the 사회통하프로그램? It is actually a 6-level course that any resident of Korea can take, and if you actually pass the whole program, you are eligible for permanent residency or you're exempted from certain credentials to obtain citizenship. So it's actually quite a difficult program. It has lots of reading and grammar and cultural elements, and there's an exam after every single level. Then there's a final level 5 exam. So today we're going to be talking about the grammar that specifically comes from level 4, the level 4 book, and this is very, very useful for the level 4 test, but also when you take the level 5 test, you will encounter a lot of this grammar as well, because I have actually taken this course and recently taken a practice exam, and the grammar points that I saw on the practice test very recently, I have actually memorized and jot down. So here is the exact grammar that you will see on the level 4 test and also the level 5 test. So this is a really, really good review. If you're looking to pass the exam or the whole course, this is where you want to go. This has all the grammar points easily explained and simply explained. So I recently took a level 5 practice exam and I jotted down the grammar points that I saw on the exam as well as what I can remember from taking the level 3 and 4 exams. So I actually passed the level 3 and 4 exams myself, and I do some of these grammar points. So level 4, specifically level 4 itself, has approximately 40 grammar points, right? And that's a lot. And I noticed that you actually see some of them quite often and some of them you almost never see. So these ones are what I saw on the practice exam for the whole course. So we are going to go through all these grammar points right now very simply and easily, because the examples they give in the book are super high level. They're very complicated, and it's hard to understand the sentences with these grammar points, these high level sentences with these high level grammar points in them. So I actually made them very simple sentences to easily show you how to use these grammar points and simply explain what they're used for. So I hope you understand this, and I hope you pass your exam and achieve any goal you want. It is in Korea. If you want to get a permanent residency or become a citizen, good luck to you. And here, let's try to study these really hard. So first on the list, we have Yamallo or Iyamallo, and the difference between the two is when there is a vowel, it is ya malo, and when there is a consonant in the last letter, it's iya malo. So that's very easy to understand. And secondly, so we have this sentence that I made up. 그 사람 이야말로 진정한 애국자입니다. So this man is a true patriot. Okay, so it's emphasizing a choice or something, right? When you want to emphasize a point, a noun, something, you say ya malo or iya malo, right? So this man, that's why I put the exclamation mark next to man, is a true patriot. So they're emphasizing that this specific guy is a true patriot. And here's another example. Jeju Island is the best tourist destination in Korea. So they're emphasizing a point or a choice or anything like that, right? So Jeju Island is the best tourist destination in Korea. 제주 말야말로 한국을 대표하는 관광지예요. So basically, it is emphasizing a point or a choice or something like that. It's not that hard to just wrap your head around. It's to put an oomph on whatever you're talking about, basically. Okay, so here is 는데도, 니은데도, and basically it's the same as ninde, but you add the do at the end, and that shows a contrast of two sentences. You're basically showing a contrast, or even though, basically, from the first clause to the second clause, you're showing a difference or kind of an irony or something like that. So the first sentence I have here is 내가 모든 사람에게 부탁을 했는데도 겨우 두 사람만 왔다. Okay, so I asked everyone to come, but barely two people came. So you're contrasting, right? So the first clause is how much effort you put in, but the second clause is not that many people came, right? So it was kind of contrasting the hard work, but it didn't pay off. So here you're contrasting the two statements, right? He tried really hard, but not that much happened, right? So you can see it's kind of contrasting the points here. And next one is, what food do you not like but still eat? So 싫어하는데도 먹는 음식이 뭔가, right? So it's kind of saying like you're contrasting, and even though you don't like this food, what do you eat? So basically, in your first clause, the unliked, something you don't like, the food is what? So the first clause is something you don't like, but still eat, right? Something you don't like to eat, but still like. So here we have the comparing and contrasting of a sentence, right? So it's basically 는데, but the first sentence and the second sentence are comparing and contrasting each other, or show some kind of irony from the first sentence. And when you want to use this with the adjective form, is 형용사 is an adjective, and when it's past tense, it usually has 상시읒 in the 받침, so it's 는데도. And when it is an adjective, it is also a nian put at the bottom. If there is no 받침, it is a nian at the bottom. And for verbs, it is always 는데도. So when it's 동사 is a verb, it's 가는데도 and 갔는데도, right? So it's 는. For verbs, you put the 는, and for adjectives, it's just a nian, unless it is past tense, then it is the same. And didn't. So this is actually very commonly used in Korea as well. You'll notice it a lot. People usually say didn't to something, and it shows that there are two choices that are similar or both acceptable. So for instance, we take a look here at our first example, and kimchi 이든지 juk 이든지 좀 주세요. So the verb is ida. Didn't is connected to the verb ida here. So if you want to take a look, here is ida, and didn't is connected to that, and didn't, and that's because juk for porridge and kimchi are both nouns, right? So to make it a kind of a clause or a sentence, you need to add the copula, which is ida, to the kimchi, and didn't and juk 이든지. They're showing that both choices of food are okay. 좀 주세요, 주십시오, right? So kimchi or porridge are both okay to give me to eat, right? So some of these words are kind of implied in the Korean translation. As you can see, I added some more words to the English translation, but that's what it means, right? So it's implied that they're both okay to eat, so you don't actually need to put the verb to eat in there, but that's what it means. Both choices are okay, or both are similar, right? Kimchi, juk are both similar in my preference. Secondly, we have with a verb, with a different verb, a more easily used verb. So we have 이번 휴가에 가든지 안 가든지 행복할게요. So basically, in this case, we're saying that if I go on vacation or not go on vacation, I will be happy, right? And you can also say 미국 가든지 일본 가든지. If I go to America or Japan, it's okay. Vacation, 휴가 할 거예요. I'll go on vacation. So to either one. So you're showing a choice, or both are acceptable. And here we have dorado. So it's you put this on the end of a verb on the first clause to show regardless or no matter what the second clause, the reason for the second clause. So here we have 그가 그렇게 말했더라도 상관이 없는다. Okay, so even if he said that, I don't care. So 그렇게 is kind of like that. Even, you know, he. So 그가 is he, and 그렇게 말하다 is like he said like that. 그렇게 is like that in a adverb form, because the adverbs basically change or alter verbs usually, so that's why it's 그렇게 in this case. 더라고, right? So, 더라도, so 말했더라고. Even if he said that past tense, I don't care, right? So you're showing that in the first clause here, first clause or sentence, right? Second, regardless. So we have first sentence, regardless, second sentence, right? And our next one is 시험에 떨어지더라도 열심히 공부하자. So even if you fail your test, study hard, right? So here's your first clause right here, to fail a test. And the subject of the sentence, like in most cases in Korea, is omitted. But here, the context is a person is telling their friend. So even if you fail a test, there should be maybe 당신은 here. 당신은 시험에 떨어지더라도 열심히 공부하자. So basically, even if you fail your test, study hard. So first clause plus regardless or no matter, second clause right here. So 는 김에, unexpected things happen. So this basically shows that due to a spontaneous opportunity or something just happened, you use that opportunity to do something, right? So it's a little hard to wrap your head around. It's considered advanced grammar. I see it in the advanced grammar books. It is quite hard to wrap your head around, but essentially it's, you know, there was something that happened and 는 김에, you know, I use that opportunity basically to do the next thing in the clause, right? So our first one is 오는 김에 밥 먹으러 갈래. So since you came, let's grab a bite to eat. So 오는 김에 is, you know, since you're here or because you're here, there is an opportunity. So let's go get something to eat, right? So the first clause is you came. Once again, the subject here is omitted. Like most times in Korea, you want to say 너는, maybe 너는 오는 김에, since you came, or since there's an unexpected opportunity that you have arrived here, let's go get something to eat. And secondly, here's another sentence with a omitted subject. It's kind of annoying, guys. I have to admit to not seeing the subject half the time in the sentences throws me off all the time, but I'll put it here for you. 나는 시내 나간 김에 영화를 보았다. So since I was downtown, I went to see a movie. Okay, so since I happened to go downtown, first clause, I used the opportunity of unexpectedly being downtown to see a movie, right? So here's a clause right here and another clause, and you connect them together with this, which means there was an unexpected opportunity. So here we have 느니 차라리, which kind of sounds funny when you say it. but it actually just means rather A than B. Actually similar to 말고 when some people says mama mama, 말고 mama mama. It's actually kind of the same as that, but this is more of a written higher level form of that you do need to recognize. And I have seen this on the test. So first one is 맛있는 음식 먹느니 차라리 건강한 음식 먹다. So I would rather eat delicious food than healthy food, right? So here's our first clause right here, our clause 1 or sentence 1, and it's added together with this to show the meaning of rather. It shows the connection with rather and to our second clause right here, which is healthy food. So I would rather eat delicious food than healthy food, right? And imagine the rather is actually splitting up the two kind of sentences like that instead. And here is the other one that I created myself, and it is during the rush hour, I would rather take the subway than the bus, right? So here we have our first clause again, take the subway rather than the bus. In our second clause, take the bus, right? And this shows the meaning of the two, the relation of the two clauses, and it's just like putting rather in between like that, take the bus rather than bus. So Danica, and this is actually quite confusing as well, and I struggled with this for a while. And actually just a moment ago I was consulting one of my advanced grammar textbooks, and this grammar point gets insanely complicated. If you want to like break it down into all the different ways you can use it, it gets ridiculously complicated. But the good news is for this course, the usage of it is actually quite simple, and you can make it very simple. You can actually understand it very simply by just thinking of it as this way. It's dago. It's literally contracted form of dago hanika. So dago, as you know, is an indirect quotation of somebody, and hanika shows a reason for something, right? So that's what it is. It's you heard something, so, or because I heard something type thing, right? So it's a indirect quotation and shows the reason for that indirect quotation. So it's actually not that hard in its simple forms. It's not that hard to understand. So 그 식당은 좋다니까 먹어도 돼. So I heard that restaurant is good. So can we eat there, right? So you're showing the reason, because I heard something, I heard it's good, let's go eat there, right? So it's pretty interesting, but not that hard. And our next one is Lotte 백화점 할인 하다니까 shopping 갔어요. So because I heard there was a sale at the Lotte department store, I went shopping. So it's all it is expressing a reason, which is you heard something, or somebody told you something, and you're not directly quoting somebody, you're just indirectly quoting something you heard or somebody told you, and that's your reason for the second clause. So your first clause, once again, is connected to a second clause, and it shows the relationship is something that you have heard. And here we have 어떠니 or at더니, and it's simply a past reason for something, why you did something, a past reason. So firstly, we have 저는 한국어를 열심히 공부했더니 한국어 능력 점점 증가했습니다. So basically, I studied Korean a lot, so my ability went up. And here again, we have the first clause and second clause of a sentence, and you're showing the relationship is a past reason for something, is the relationship between the two clauses. Because he studied so much or she studied so much, his or her ability has gone up a lot. And our next example is 나는 매일 운동했더니 살이 많이 빠졌어요. Or 빠졌어. So I wrote this one in Banmar just to show the difference. And it says, because this person exercised every day, he or she lost a lot of weight, right? So it's here is your first clause, something that happened, and your relationship is it was a past done thing, and here is your outcome of second clause. Connected through this is the past reason, showing tense and things like that. Here we have namana, which is another thing that kind of sounds funny, but this point I struggled with a lot, and I still had to review it before making this video because the examples the book give are related to politics, because that chapter is politics, and they try to combine the topic with the grammar points, and it just came out super awkward, and it doesn't really fit the topic so much. So here I just simplified the sentence with it, and 시험 공부 하나 마나 시험 망할 거야. So there's no point to studying the exam. I will still fail. So this expresses that there's no point to something, or there's no reason to do something. There's futility, basically, to put it in a high end, like a high level way. It expresses futility, which means there's no point to do something. So there's no point to study. I'm going to fail. And here we go. If you leave now, the store is closed. So basically saying there's no point to leave now. The store is already closed. So it's expressing there's no point to do something.